Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. The real lover is the man who can thrill you by kissing your forehead or smiling into your eyes or just staring into space. If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her do anything. I am good, but not an angel. I do sin, but I am not the devil. I am just a small girl in a big world trying to find someone to love. It's far better to be unhappy alone than unhappy with someone so far. When it comes down to it, I let them think what they want. If they care enough to bother with what I do, then I'm already better than them. If you're gonna be two-faced, at least make one of them pretty. We should all start to live before we get too old. Fear is stupid. So are regrets. She was a girl who knew how to be happy even when she was sad. And that's important, you know. Beneath the makeup and behind the smile, I am just a girl who wishes for the world. I don't mind living in a man's world, as long as I can be a woman in it. It's often just enough to be with someone. I don't need to touch them. Not even talk. A feeling passes between you both. You're not alone. Keep smiling, because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. I want to grow old without facelifts. I want to have the courage to be loyal to the face I have made. Success makes so many people hate you. I wish it wasn't that way. It would be wonderful to enjoy success without seeing envy in the eyes of those around you. I don't know who invented high heels, but all women know him a lot. All a girl really wants is for one guy to prove to her that they are not all the same. Sometimes things fall apart so that better things can fall together. We are all born sexual creatures, thank God, but it's a pity so many people despise and crush this natural gift. I don't mind making jokes, but I don't want to look like one. Boys think girls are like books. If the cover doesn't catch their eye, they won't bother to read what's inside. I have feelings too. I am still human. All I want is to be loved, for myself and for my talent. Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I know, because I turned down the first offer often enough and held out for the 50 cents. If I play a stupid girl and ask a stupid question, I've got to follow it through. What am I supposed to do? Look intelligent? Before marriage, a girl has to make love to a man to hold him. After marriage, she has to hold him to make love to him. Just because you fail once doesn't mean you're gonna fail at everything. To all the girls that think you're fat because you're not a size 0, you're the beautiful one, it's society who's ugly. How wrong it is for a woman to expect the man to build the world she wants, rather than to create it herself. I have too many fantasies to be a housewife. I guess I am a fantasy. Your clothes should be tight enough to show you're a woman but loose enough to show you're a lady. A career is wonderful, but you can't curl up with it on a cold night. Just because you fall once, doesn't mean you'll fall at everything. Keep trying, hold on, and always trust yourself, because if you don't, then who will? I knew I belonged to the public and to the world, not because I was talented or even beautiful, but because I had never belonged to anything or anyone else. Looking back, I guess I used to play act all the time. For one thing, it meant I could live in a more interesting world than the one around me. When you're young and healthy, you can plan on Monday to commit suicide, and by Wednesday you're laughing again. Dreaming about being an actress is more exciting than being one. I've often stood silent at a party for hours listening to my movie idols turn into dull and little people. That's the way you feel when you're beaten inside. You don't feel angry at those who've beaten you. You just feel ashamed. No one ever told me I was pretty when I was a little girl. All little girls should be told they're pretty, even if they aren't. So keep your head high, keep your chin up, and most importantly, keep smiling, because life's a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. Husbands are chiefly good as lovers when they are betraying their wives. The trouble with censors is that they worry if a girl has cleavage. They ought to worry if she hasn't any. Suicide is a person's privilege. I don't believe it's a sin or a crime. It's your right if you do. Though it doesn't get you anywhere. For those who are poor in happiness, each time is a first time. Happiness never becomes a habit. A strong man doesn't have to be dominant toward a woman. He doesn't match his strength against a woman weak with love for him. He matches it against the world. Men are always ready to respect anything that bores them. I would have told her then she was the only thing that I could love in this dying world, but the simple word love itself already died and went away. It's better for the whole world to know you, even as a sex star, than never to be known at all. A friend tells you what you want to hear, a best friend tells you the truth. I don't forgive people because I'm weak, I forgive them because I am strong enough to know people make mistakes. Most men judge your importance in their lives by how much you can hurt them. Try to enjoy myself when I can, I'll be miserable enough as it is. I lay in bed at night crying to myself. The only one who loved me and watched over me was someone I couldn't see or hear or touch. There is just no comparison between having a dinner date with a man and staying home playing canasta with the girls. Maybe I'll never be able to do what I hope to, but at least I have hope. Most people in the world are Christ lovers. And then there are Christ haters. But all of them are fixated on Christ, and He perpetuates forever. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. Always, always, always believe in yourself, because if you don't, then who will, sweetie? I think I hate it here because there is no love here anymore. I regret the effort I desperately made here. To know reality, or things as they are, than to have not to know and to have few illusions as possible, drain my will now. But as long as one is alive, one can be vital. But you don't give up until you stop breathing. Jack Kennedy could have been a movie star himself. He had the charisma, the charm, that come-hither quality that can never be duplicated. Is it any wonder he got elected president? I think to love bravely is the best and accept, as much as one can bear. All men are the same. They just have different faces so that women differentiate them. The one thing a person wants most in life is usually something basic that money can't buy. Fame will go by and, so long, I've had you, fame. If it goes by, I've always known it was fickle. So at least it's something I experience, but that's not where I live. I could never pretend something I didn't feel. I could never make love if I didn't love, and if I loved I could no more hide the fact than change the color of my eyes. I wanted to ask 1,000 questions, but there was no one to ask. Besides, I knew that people only told lies to children, lies about everything from soup to Santa Claus. People had a habit of looking at me as if I were some kind of mirror instead of a person. They didn't see me, they saw their own lewd thoughts, then they white-masked themselves by calling me the lewd one. I am invariably late for appointments, sometimes as much as 2 hours. I've tried to change my ways, but the things that make me late are too strong, and too pleasing. I think that sexuality is only attractive when it's natural and spontaneous. Respect is one of life's greatest treasures. I mean, what does it all add up to if you don't have that? Arthur Miller wouldn't have married me if I had been nothing but a dumb blonde. fame doesn't fulfill you. It warms you a bit, but that warmth is temporary. Being a sex symbol is a heavy load to carry, especially when one is tired, hurt and bewildered. I won't be satisfied until people want to hear me sing without looking at me. Of course, that doesn't mean I want them to stop looking. The truth is, I've never fooled anyone. I've let men sometimes fool themselves. I never wanted to be Marilyn, it just happened. Marylyn's like a veil I wear over Norma Jean.